The entire hip-hop world stopped when DJ Akademiks, Drake's longtime ally and unofficial spokesperson, went live and dropped the one sentence nobody ever thought they would hear. He said Drake, the biggest rapper of his generation, the man who turned Billboard charts into his personal playground, is broke. Not his expenses are high, not his team is overspending. Akademiks made it sound like Drake is in full-blown financial collapse. And what's even crazier is that he hinted the Iceman album was canceled because of it. The revelation sent shockwaves across the industry because for years Drake was positioned as untouchable, the A-lister who could outspend everyone, outperform everyone, and outlive every scandal. But suddenly the narrative flipped. Overnight, the sixth god looked like he was melting, and the entire industry started whispering about what went wrong. This wasn't just about money. This was about power, influence, and the legacy Drake spent 15 years building. And if Akademiks, Drake's most loyal media ally, is ringing the alarm, something catastrophic is happening behind the scenes. For almost a decade, Akademiks defended Drake with religious intensity. Every beef, every rumor, every accusation. Akademiks was the one spinning narratives, attacking critics, and protecting Drake's image. But in his latest rant, there was no spin, no damage control, no excuses. Instead, he sounded frustrated, disgusted, almost betrayed, as he said Drake is not only financially ruined, but also surrounded by a team that refuses to face reality. You could hear it in his voice. He wasn't just reporting, he was venting. He talked about reckless spending, no real revenue coming in, and ego moves that burned through millions. And when Akademiks distances himself from Drake, that's like a siren blaring through hip-hop. The two have been inseparable for years. If Akademiks is choosing this moment to step back, it means Drake's empire isn't just cracking, it's collapsing in real time. Drake built his persona around luxury, not just as a flex, but as a lifestyle. The million-dollar jets, the marble estates, the custom necklaces, the extravagant gambling, the private island trips, the entourages, the security teams, the endless chain of exclusive parties. It was all part of the Drake brand. But there's a brutal truth celebrities hate to admit. Image doesn't always match income. And Akademiks made it clear that Drake's spending wasn't just high, it was uncontrolled. He talked about how Drake operates like a billionaire even though his income streams have been drying up. Touring halted, endorsement deals slowed, streaming numbers dipped, and expensive legal issues piled up. When you add the lawsuits, the PR disasters, and the ongoing beefs draining resources, you start to realize the numbers simply don't add up. Drake wasn't just living large, he was living beyond large. And for the first time in his career, the bill came due. Akademiks dropped the bombshell casually, but with meaning. The Iceman album, the project Drake was supposedly working on to rebrand himself after the Kendrick Lamar battle, has been scrapped. According to him, the album wasn't just delayed. It fell apart because Drake isn't in the right place financially or creatively to make it happen. Behind the scenes, insiders say the album required massive production budgets, high-end features, and expensive rollouts. Things Drake can't currently fund. Even his label reportedly refused to cover the full cost because streaming projections looked weak. Nobody wants to invest millions into an album they're not sure will perform. Not after For All the Dogs underperformed. Not after Scary Hours 3 didn't move the needle. And definitely not after the Kendrick versus Drake battle ended with Drake humiliated on the global stage. The Iceman was supposed to be Drake's comeback moment. Instead, it became the symbol of how bad things really are. When Akademiks talked about Drake's financial problems, he also hinted at something even darker. He suggested Drake's crew, the same entourage that lived off his money for years, is abandoning him now that the cash flow has stopped. Akademiks described Drake as being surrounded by leeches, implying his team drained him financially without offering real loyalty. And now, with the well running dry, people who once worshipped Drake are distancing themselves. This is a common pattern in celebrity culture. But in Drake's case, it hits harder because his entire brand was built on being the center of a massive empire. The OVO machine, the Toronto Golden Boy, the man who uplifted his city. But when the dust settles, only a handful of people remain. And Akademiks made it clear, most of Drake's circle didn't stick around. That abandonment isn't just emotional, It's symbolic. It shows how much the industry believes Drake's era is ending. You cannot talk about Drake's collapse without addressing the elephant in the room, Kendrick Lamar. That battle didn't just bruise Drake's ego, it fundamentally destroyed his cultural standing. Kendrick didn't just beat Drake, he buried him with precision, facts, and a level of artistry Drake couldn't match. And the public didn't forget. Drake's streaming numbers dipped. His brand deals stopped trending. His public appearances became awkward. The memes never stopped. And every artist who once feared Drake started speaking out. Pusha T, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, A$AP Rocky, they all took shots. Even Drake's own city started celebrating Kendrick's victories. Akademiks hinted that the financial fallout from losing that battle was massive. Tours became harder to sell, public goodwill evaporated, and the Iceman album, which relied heavily on Drake restoring his image, became impossible to justify when nobody believed in Drake's comeback story. Akademiks didn't mention specifics, but insiders know Drake has been dealing with expensive legal challenges for years. From property disputes to copyright battles, from security incidents to business lawsuits, Drake's finances have been quietly draining behind the scenes. And when you're already overspending, legal fees become devastating. It's not just the lawsuits themselves. It's the settlements, the ongoing trials, the lawyers on retainer, the PR teams managing scandals, the crisis consultants. All of these cost millions. And after the Kendrick defeat, critics and opportunists came out of the shadows. More lawsuits appeared. More former associates demanded money. More people started suing Drake because they believed he was vulnerable. Akademiks' comments make it clear. Drake isn't just facing financial stress. He's fighting multiple battles at once and losing all of them. For years, Drake tried to build OVO into a cultural movement, a label, a brand, a lifestyle. But according to Akademiks, OVO is not generating the kind of revenue people think. The clothing line slowed down. The festival declined. The label struggles to break new stars. And internal issues started leaking. Artists left quietly. Partnerships dissolved. Money wasn't flowing the same way. Without Drake as the dominant force in music, OVO started to look like a collapsing pyramid, one that relies entirely on a single person to keep it alive. And now, with Drake's finances strained and his public image shaken, OVO isn't stable enough to keep him afloat. What was once a kingdom is now a burden. And Akademiks calling out Drake's inner circle is a sign that even those close to the situation know the OVO brand is in critical condition. What makes this situation even more dramatic is Akademiks' tone. This wasn't a journalist reporting news. This was a friend exposing another friend. He sounded angry, almost resentful, that Drake ignored all warnings. He talked about how Drake refused to adapt, refused to listen, refused to cut unnecessary spending or fix his brand. He hinted Drake was still living in the fantasy of 2016 when he was untouchable. But the world changed. Hip-hop changed. The culture shifted toward authenticity, bars, storytelling, and Drake refused to evolve. So when Akademiks publicly said Drake is broke, it wasn't just a financial revelation. It was a confession that even Drake's biggest defender has given up on him. And once the media machine turns on you, the fall accelerates. After Akademiks' rant went viral, something strange happened. Nobody in the industry defended Drake. Not artists, not producers, not executives, not influencers. Even OVO affiliates, who usually rush to protect him, stayed quiet. That silence is louder than any diss track. It suggests the people inside the industry already knew Drake was struggling. They just weren't willing to say it first. Akademiks broke the dam, and now more voices are coming forward anonymously, confirming that Drake's spending has been a problem for years. Insiders are saying tours weren't selling like before, labels weren't happy, and Drake's team was burning through money faster than it came in. When the industry turns silent, it means they're waiting for the fall, not trying to stop it. Drake's recent public behavior makes more sense now. The sudden appearances, the awkward collaborations, the desperate attempts to trend, the random social media stunts, the messy legal threats, even the unexpected connections with controversial figures. It all fits the pattern of someone trying to stay relevant at any cost because the financial pressure is intense. Akademiks suggested Drake's next move will be chaotic. That's never a good sign. It means Drake is scrambling, hoping for a miracle, a viral moment, a hit song, a comeback tour, anything that can keep the money coming in. But the problem is deeper than music. It's about trust. And right now, the public doesn't trust Drake the way they used to. His every move feels forced. His brand feels shaky. And the Iceman album being canceled shows he has no clear path forward. So where does this leave Drake? According to Akademiks, Drake is facing a perfect storm. Financial collapse, brand collapse, industry isolation, and personal abandonment. The man who once dominated every aspect of hip-hop is now fighting to maintain basic stability. The Iceman album, his supposed comeback, is gone. His team is fractured. His revenue streams are shrinking. His public perception is at an all-time low. And the people who once protected him are speaking out. Drake is not just losing money. He's losing power, influence, and relevance. And when Akademiks said he's broke, he wasn't talking about dollars. He was talking about the legacy of a superstar who finally hit a wall. Drake's entire career has been built on reinvention. But this might be the first time he's facing a crisis too big to outrun. Akademiks exposed everything. The industry is watching closely. And fans are starting to realize Drake's golden era might be over for good. But hip-hop is unpredictable. Comebacks happen. Fallen giants rise again. So the question now is simple. Can Drake recover? Or is this truly the end of the Six God era? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for more deep dives and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.